What's going on, guys? So, as I mentioned in my last video, I wasn't too happy about the dungeon changes they made. I did mention that they are doing a Wednesday maintenance where they're putting out all these changes, which are good to see. But now they actually have a full list of everything they're doing because beforehand they just had a little forum post. Well, actually, not even a forum post. Jaime just responded to someone on the forums talking about they're going to reduce the difficulty of the dungeons that they buffed for no reason with this Unreal Engine 4 patch. Now we have a full list of like actually what they're doing. So I want to go over it real quickly. It's not that much, but still it's worth talking about. So first thing they talked about is, of course, greeting crickets. These are the changes going into effect this Wednesday. First one is bosses in easy, normal, and hard mode. Dungeon difficulties will be adjusted. This is very vague. I wish they give a little bit more details. Like, are they going to really reduce the HP of stuff from easy mode? I feel like that's important for them to do for Sandstorm Temple and a bunch of these other dungeons that should be pretty easy. As far as normal and hard mode, I feel like these should be actually pretty difficult, especially hard mode. Like, you have to have some endgame content that is challenging, of course, for your endgame players. So I don't really know if I agree with them actually reducing the difficulty of the hard mode dungeons. I think those should just be left alone. But as far as the easy mode, they definitely should be reduced in HP. They just take way too long for people to complete them, and daily should be fast for some of these easier dungeons like Sandstorm Temple. They should not take 2 billion HP for a mini boss. It's just ridiculous. So I'm definitely a fan of them reducing that. Hopefully it's a significant amount for easy mode. But in my opinion, for at least hard mode, I don't really feel like they should touch it. Just leave it hard. Because again, you want that endgame content for your geared players. They talked about some other little small things. Another really big one though is the fact that some of the Call to Arms event chests and accessories wouldn't give stuff for the dual blade class. It would say unavailable for that class. And it's for the dual blade class, for the brand new class. You couldn't even get some of these accessories, for example, like the Skybreak Green chest would not allow you to actually equip it, even though it's the brand new class. You should be able to. So there's things like that where like the new classes really bud with gear, where a certain gear they can't equip. And so it looks like they're going to be fixing some of that, but I just find that really crazy that they even allowed that to happen. Like, that's a really big bud. Like, you're literally not allowing players with the new class to equip gear. It's a big deal. It's not like a small little glitch or something. Kind of crazy that went through the cracks, but I mean, at least they're trying to fix that. Besides that, they just again have some small little details and stuff that really isn't too important. This one's kind of funny though. Rescued NPCs in Act 1 of Chapter 10 South Anchors Away quest were no longer stuck in a T-pose. I would really love to see that. I don't remember seeing that at all, but that's actually really funny that they actually did that. But really the main thing is that we're going to get some type of reduction for the easy mode dungeons, which I think is great. I still feel like they should add some more quests to the daily challenge. It's way too small now. I do understand that they reduced it down to 5 instead of doing 7 quests, which I think is great because 7 is kind of a lot. Even though it does balance out pretty well, because in my opinion the 7 quest reward for the daily challenge wasn't even that big, so it wasn't even a big deal if you skipped it. So I hope that they bring back maybe some of the Motion Tower content, like maybe if you don't want to do the floor 9 quest reward, that one's very easy. They could at least do like the floor 21 or floor 19, which I think would be great for new players and returning players. Also, I really think they should add a lot of dungeons back to the cross server F8. I feel like it's just like such a small amount of dungeons to choose from, and most of them are like really endgame dungeons. It's not providing a lot for new players and returning players. I understand they want to consolidate and kind of remove the older dungeons, but I feel like having some of those easier dungeons available for returning players and people who aren't very geared, I think is really important. So I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of them removing so many dungeons from F8. Something to think about. I'm just really big on trying to welcome returning players and new players, because if we don't have that, we don't have a healthy player base. And if we don't have a healthy player base, I mean, this MMORPG is not going to be massive at all. It's going to be just maybe 500 whale players, and that's not healthy at all. So if that's the case, the game's just going to be increasingly more pay to win as NCSoft tries to make profits off the remaining whales we have, and it just goes all downhill from there. I don't think I have to go more detailed than that. So I'm really big on trying to make changes to actually welcome players. I know a lot of people just say, well, you can just do the endgame content, and I personally can. I have enough gear to run, House of Idols and all that, but I just really feel like they need to focus on the returning players and new players, because there's not a ton of them, and it's mainly because they're not being very welcome. I mean, what are they going to do after the Call to Arms event? How are they going to make the game less grindy? Because without the Call to Arms event, you can't even get geared up in a decent time frame as a new player. It's just ridiculous. Like, I feel like they should just keep like the Call to Arms event year round, in my opinion, or at least do something like the Soul Boost event over in Korea that they have. So again, I have a lot of ideas, and I've been thinking about it. I'm just kind of worried that there's not going to be a lot of players after this Call to Arms event, because after this, I mean, it's hard to gear up as a new player. It's just what it is. So hopefully NCSoft kind of keeps that in mind, because it's sad to see a lot of players join the game and then just be like, oh, wow, I can't even run half the content. and it's just really grindy. So sad to see that. But either way, they are changing some stuff. Hopefully the reductions to the easy mode is good enough. I've rambled on enough about that. Glad that the dual blade class players can actually equip gear. Crazy that that wasn't even a thing. And just a few other little bug fixes. Either way, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I also had some people mention to me that they removed the gamepad support for the game. I'm not really too familiar with that. I never really dabbled with that, but they are going to be redeveloping that for the game, and they said they'll let you know as soon as it's available in game again. In the future, who knows how long that will be, couple weeks, couple months. But it looks like they're still going to be working on it. I don't really know why they removed it in the first place. It must not have worked with Unreal Engine 4 for some reason, but at least you know that they are planning to bring it back eventually. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about these little changes on this Wednesday maintenance. Appreciate you guys watching the video as always. Leave a like, sub to the channel. More content soon.